Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we are live. What is up, you two?
Oh man, you bring the energy so much it gives me the quippy-jeebies. Oh, I'm excited.
Dude,
yes.
it's me gassed up, man.
All right, man. I love it. I'm really good, man. How you doing, Bubba?
Oh, better.
You feeling better, man?
Yeah, man.
He passed that shit out and was like, "Oh, I'm giving birth."
Yeah, boy. Pushing a piece of kitty litter through your urethra's not fun.
No way, man. No way. And before all you women out there get all the women out there get salty. It's not like giving birth. We're like, oh yeah. Try it sometime, right?
Yeah, dude. That's I saw something. It was like, and this is like a joke thing. That's funny to me that they're like, people say like giving birth harder than like getting kicked in the nuts or whatever. But then he's like, you hear women talking about how they like want to have another baby. He's like, you never hear a dude talking about how he wants to get kicked in the nuts again.
Fuck,
yeah,
no, right?
That's like proof,
right?
So,
yeah, yeah.
And, like me and Russ were talking right before you got on here, and I was telling him like I've talked to women that have given birth and had kidney stones, and they'd all rather have given birth.
Fucking hey, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously. Yeah, I mean, I understand.
You're a soldier of God now, man.
Woo!
Yeah, right.
Oh, dude, it was really bad in Pennsylvania. See, I lived in two areas that have had studies on them for kidney stones. I've said this before.
Yeah.
But like Southwest Virginia, because of the water, something to do with the limestone water.
Yeah, I've heard it. I've heard about that. Yeah.
They have an epidemic of kidney stones in that area.
Yeah.
And then up in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, around that area, because I lived in York Haven. That's where I started having them even worse than in Virginia.
There supposedly was a study they were doing on well water too.
Yeah.
On well water having a tending to cause more of a problem with them. Well water, I think well water shit anyway. So anyway, that's rough, dude.
What were you saying, Sam?
I'm sorry, Sam. I make that all good.
That water didn't treat you well, man.
No. Yeah, right.
I should have just been drinking beer the whole time, and I
man, I know, right?
You know what? If you want to be safe and if you want to value your health and everything,
yeah,
it's what you need to do.
I heard orange juice causes them too. If you drink a lot of it, I guess.
I mean, I literally, because like I drink beer, water, and coffee. Different. I drink coffee in the morning, water throughout the day, and then beer in the evening. But it's like,
hey, you got like a whole cycle going on. That's pretty good, dude. Shit.
Oh man.
And if I'm real,
love it.
If I'm having a hard time, so like yesterday, we didn't work yesterday because of Veterans Day, which was like Happy Veterans Day.
Indeed, happy Veterans Day to everybody. It was.
Everyone here do a debt that we can never repay, man. It's a huge
absolutely deal. Man.
But so we had yesterday off. I took a nap in the middle of the day, woke up, and I'm not used to doing that. Usually I just power through and find something to do. But I fell asleep, woke up, and was feeling groggy. Had to have some coffee in the afternoon, so I wouldn't have made it.
Yeah, sometimes you need that pick me up, dude.
Yo, my shit is those energy drinks, bro.
Like, wow! When I was in the bar and restaurant industry, I was always on some energy drinks, man. But
yeah,
it's been 10 years since I had one.
Like bangs are hard to find now for some reason.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I thought that was a real popular one, wasn't it?
Yeah, Gary got me
those kidney stones.
Oh man,
dude. Nick's gargling that water in the shower, dude.
I know. I know my son drinks those, and he likes to start like a lot of certain flavors of them and shit. And so he's trying to get me to try it, and I've tried them. I think they taste gross, so I just don't.
They do. It's like alcohol, man. You're drinking it for the fucking effect.
Like a malt.
I guess. Yeah, I just can't get by it. I'm like trifling.
I thought for a while that they had alcohol in them. Like just seeing them in the stores.
I know people mix it.
Or Loco.
That was an era, a very era. But I had those, and they made what was that? Probably about like 2010, 11, 12, around there. Because people would bring them into the bar. Like not like people like bar customers, but like employees and shit. Because it's so, on like weekend nights, like everyone would just bring booze or just be drinking the whole time. I remember there was like the ice machine that like the restaurant used, and I always had like 3 or 4 tall cans that I would just like if I was because like it was like random nights I'd have to work in the back, and then it was like this so low pressure, I'd work my ass off, right? But like I could just drink and listen to music, so that's what I do. And it was like everybody had their own shit, and people would be like passing stuff around. Four Locos, dude, those tasted like medicine in a way.
Yeah,
like just like you drank and it was like, this is just like poison. Like it's just poison.
Yeah,
like I don't know how else to. And
you knew you were fucking
like
yourself up.
The early batches of them, because I think they got into some legal trouble, right? Like,
yes, they had to take out like.
Did they really?
A bunch of shit. Yeah, man, because it was like, dude, it was like
it worked too
fucking.
It got you.
It worked too well, huh?
Too drunk, too fast, and you were hyped up as fuck.
Oh god, dude, you're talking about a crazy mix, man. Good lord,
it was bad.
Oh my god,
I can't even imagine that shit.
And so, like, I found out about it right after they changed the original formula, and so then, like, for whatever reason, there wasn't Red Bull when I was clubbing. You
must be old.
I'm old as fuck, man.
The old boss.
So like when we went out, there was no such thing as Red Bull. So like right after Four Loco,
what would you mix vodka?
I would. Yep, vodka and Red Bull.
Yeah,
we didn't have Red Bull wasn't out yet when I was
I think that
fucking around with the clubs and shit,
dude.
First time I was aware of it was when like my freshman year of high school, which would have been like 2004 or 5.
Yeah, see,
so I think that probably lines up. It's Red Bull. Four Loco. My bad, not Red Bull. Four Loco. The only and I have a limited scope, but like the only thing I could compare it to was like doing like some type of pills.
Yeah,
like just like the
it was like
that you get. Like it's like all in your head. And
have you ever taken like at the gas station the trucker speed?
No,
like the Yellow Jackets.
No, I'm not.
Russ, do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
Oh my god. Okay, here's my fucking redneck ass. Okay. Nick
is airing himself out. He was about to rush. He was about to be like, "Oh yeah, me neither. But if you did."
Oh, it's fucking good,
dude. There were these pills, and they were called Yellow Jackets, and
I'm aware of them.
Yeah, and you fucking would take I would take those, and then drink like a 6-pack. So like you would just be like, woo, and then fucking you got that alcohol going through you, and of course besides a 6-pack, I'm drinking all sorts of other shit too. So it was just like,
naturally
shots of liquor.
All right, so now what effect would these Yellow Jacket pills have on you?
Or what were they, just caffeine pills or something?
Yeah, caffeine pills with like fucking guarana, taurine.
So they're right, kind of like an energy drink in a pill form. Basically.
Yeah.
All right.
We would do that with 5-hour energy. It's funny, man, because Oh
yeah, 5-hour energy and vodka shots.
Yeah, that was a thing.
Yeah,
for sure, man. But it's like now that I'm older, that's never like if I'm going out and like hanging out, I'm not like, oh, I'm so tired. Like I'm just like, yeah, I'm just at a level, and I don't feel like I need that, and I probably didn't when I was a kid either. And, when I was 20 and 21, but so I think. So I had a question that I just thought of right before we jumped on. Totally off topic, but because I was thinking about like the last time, or like what streaming services I actually watch, and so here's a question: what do you like watch regularly, and when was the last time that you were actually like excited for a series? And this could be on cable TV, streaming service, anything.
Okay. I just binged Loki yesterday. I do watch a lot of Disney Plus. The thing within the past couple years that I was the most excited for was Sandman, and I don't think I put Netflix on since.
Oh damn! Do you have one, Russ, or you want me to go?
Well,
I was thinking about one.
I watch a lot of Disney stuff too. I just mainly for the Star Wars stuff, right? But actually, I watched a lot of Amazon, some stuff that Amazon Prime does, and this is one that I like. It's called Wheel of Time.
Yeah, that's like those are based on the books, right?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, and they just did a new season of it, and I binged it really quick, and I loved it. It was. I waited until they were released on like three episodes at a time. So I was.
That's one I've heard people say, like, who are into it, be like, these are the best, like, fantasy. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it fantasy or sci-fi? Or
it's fantasy. Yeah. Lots of magic and shit like that. And all.
Yeah, like I've heard people say, like, this is as good as it gets. Like,
yeah, I like it a lot. I mean, I've heard some people say it's like people accuse it of being a Lord of the Rings ripoff, and I'm like, no, I don't think it's like Lord of the Rings at all. It's very tough. Different.
Well, did it come after Lord of the Rings?
I don't even know if the book was written after Lord of the Rings or before.
Everything comes after Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
because
like
that was Lord of the Rings is such like a template piece.
Yeah, and so so you can almost argue everything's going to have something from Lord of the Rings, but I like it a lot. It's a really good show.
Of course, fantasy's been around before
Lord of the Rings. Yeah, but shit, because even Lord of the Rings stole from shit.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say, and not to discredit, but I feel like Lord of the Rings was like an aggregate in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
it was.
Because it had fucking everything. You had
it did.
The different races, the different types of magics. You had
enchanted weapons.
And then also like the classic like Joseph Campbell.
Yep.
Hero of a Thousand Faces stories, which is like what A New Hope is. So it had. So it's tough to say that
so funny
something doesn't copy from that because it.
Did you read Campbell?
Mm-mm.
No. What I find so funny is that Lucas is like a disciple of Campbell, and he's very, very inspired by Campbell. The funny thing is people don't understand, going back and looking at Kurosawa, how much the whole that goes into his movies. Like, look at Seven Samurai, look at Yojimbo, you know. Yeah, I mean, and so then with Lucas, you're getting a double shot,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Because Lucas was, consciously aping Campbell, and then he was aping Kurosawa also, who was another one, you know.
And it's the regret. It's regrettable, I guess. They kind of like the regrettable hero of like they're not sure that they need
the reluctant hero.
The reluctant. Thank you. My fucking vocabulary. Yeah. Part of my brain's turned out. The reluctant.
Yeah, hero. A reluctant hero, or I mean, sometimes you got a lot of that old anti-hero too. The guy who's like, he's a bad guy, but he ends up having a heart a little bit. He doesn't want to.
I'm sitting here in my brain, like thinking about. Okay, well, this movie does that. This book does that, and it's just so many of them, because it is such a common kind of like, just like ingrained in like the human mind.
That was an argument we got into on a hangout once about there's only 7 stories that you can tell, according to Joseph Campbell. There's 7 archetypical stories, and every single story falls within one of those categories. So, yeah.
I mean, he might be right because he's trying to think about it.
It's very, Hero of a Thousand Faces is a very interesting read.
Yeah, I haven't. I'm like, it's like one of those things. I'm like familiar with the thesis. I've never read it. I'd like to though.
Now, Sam, what do I mean, I hear you talk. I know you talk about stuff that you've watched and stuff like that. But do you have any? Like, are there any shows on any of the streaming services that you actually look forward to seeing?
Man, it's been a long time, and this is before. So like, I will say like my kind of state right now is that I'm just so uninterested in stuff that I used to be really interested in. Like, it used to be anything Marvel or Star Wars was to me like required viewing, and that is all just kind of dropped off.
Now, like, is that because of the quality of some of the shit you've gotten lately, or is it
that I think that's really it? It's just the quality of the thing. Because I feel like if it was good, I'd be interested, right? Yeah. But even before that, I've always been very picky about TV for whatever reason. Like I just there's things that I wish I didn't care about, but that like are big turnoffs for me. And I'll give an example here, like so as far as streaming services go, I watch more YouTube than anything else times 10, right?
Yeah.
But then I think second to that is probably Amazon Prime, and I don't even know if it's stuff that like Prime puts out, but like they are kind of like an aggregator. Like I have like my PBS subscription like through Amazon Prime.
Me too. Yeah.
Like Paramount Plus. So like there's like a lot of stuff I watch through that, but it's through Prime, so like they're getting the minutes or whatever.
I lived with my grandmother for a while when I was a young dude, and we used to her TV, she watches what she wants. Okay, Grandma, cool, no problem. Sure. And she used to love the Jeremy Brett Sherlock Holmes on A&E that used to play. And also the David Suchet Hercule Poirot.
I never saw that.
Oh man, it's the best Poirot in my opinion. And both those are on BritBox, and I have that through my Amazon.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, and then there was like this other show. I don't know. It's this huge dude. He's like 6'8", and he's a British comedian. And he does this show on that BritBox thing, and it's called The Cleaner. And it's about a crime scene dude that goes in after like they do the investigation, everything, and cleans up the crime scenes.
Oh God, I actually applied for a job to work for a company that does that, and I didn't get it. But I had people telling me it's a rough job.
I would think so.
Yeah,
this one's a comedy though.
Roast a comedy, jeez.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And Helena Bonham Carter shows up in the first episode.
Oh no shit!
Like a young Helena Bonham Carter.
No, this is like Helena Bonham Carter now.
Oh damn! Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, and I think that so I watched like a lot of shit through there, and But the last show I was excited for was The Bear. The second season and I think that was an FX thing I watched on.
Yeah.
But then like even that, like the first season was really good, really strong. And it's one of those things like it made sense to do a second season because the story kind of like led up to like the next phase for all the characters. But then I felt like the second season in the the arc was going away, and then in the last episode, I feel like they shoehorned things in to force a third season, and that's what I hate. I hate when shows do that because I'm like, I would, let this arc close and then start a new one. Season 3, episode 1, this was season 2, or just end it, in a place that makes sense for everybody. And that's like one of my big peeves with TV is when I feel like they're like forcing things to just go on and on, and it's just a big turn for me, man.
How good of an actor is that kid on that show?
I feel like he might. I don't know if he's a good actor because I haven't seen him in much else. I've only seen him in this as that character, and it might be one of those things. And I'm not saying he's not. He might be a great actor. He might just be built to play this character.
Okay.
In which case
he's gonna be playing Carrie Von Erich.
I know. I'm excited to see that. I'm gonna watch the shit out of
Oh, that's who it is. He's okay.
Yeah.
All right. Wow.
In which case, like, credit to the casting director and the director of each episode for kind of getting that performance dialed in. But he's great in that role. It's one of those characters where I'm like it's me. Like, just like the things they kind of and it's he's just like this quiet, kind of subdued. It's really good. I'd recommend that show to anybody. But and I need to rewatch maybe the last episode. Maybe I'll feel differently on a rewatch. But I watched like every episode of that season 3 times. You know, just because it was all so good. And then the very last episode, I was like, well, fuck, man. Like, I felt like they did what I hated. And then I wasn't in as much as I talk about Andor because I want to bring that show up. I wasn't excited about it because I didn't think we needed it. I didn't think it was going to be anything, but then that ended up being what it was. And
that was when I got excited for
season 2 for that show.
Yeah, I got excited for it because he was one of my favorite characters that stood out to me.
Yeah,
and that the travesty of a movie. But and he was just good. He was awesome, man.
I don't even feed in anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah. You guys just admit it.
Years.
You feel the same way. You just not cool to feel that way. I get it. It's fine. Sorry. My wife and I right now should stop me upside down. Anyway.
Let me give her a phone call.
Really?
What toy is that, Nick, that you're playing with?
Oh, it was the New Age comic Grimlock.
Dude, that looks really good, man.
Oh, that's awesome, dude.
That's like a ton of fun.
I got I just got I haven't bought any Black Series figures in a while. Haven't got anything. Mm-hmm. And I bought the grown up Ezra Bridger.
Oh, I fucking lied. I got the Star Killer and Stormtrooper set.
Oh, did you really?
Really good, man.
You got the Star Killer in. Okay, see, I'm waiting. I have it on pre-order still. I'm waiting for it to come in. It hasn't come in. I have it on pre-order through Amazon, so that's probably why. Amazon seems to be getting shit later lately than other stuff places.
Shows up, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I just forget about it. Yeah.
That Star Killer was good though.
Yeah, he does look good. My only problem with the figure was I feel like he needs more shit, dude. I just feel like he needs more stuff, but like, I don't know, man. I feel like
would you have been cool, Russ, if it was like one of those 30 or I don't know how much they might be $30. Like if it was one of those like let's say $40.
Oh no, this set was 110.
Oh, it came with him and the okay.
Yeah.
You got Stormtroopers. Yeah. Okay.
And then like all these different lightsabers.
Yeah, I know what you got. You got
the lightning.
Yeah, it's got force lightning effects and shit in it. Yeah, I know what you got. You got that. That's awesome. Actually, that actually has a lot of cool stuff with it. But I mean, the Star Killer figure alone, I felt that's what I have on order, and I felt like he needs more. And I would pay more money. I just want a couple more hands and I want I'd like to have.
I wonder if they'll do something with that, like if anyone will make additional like pieces for it. I guess
maybe. I mean, I know you can always go on Etsy and probably find a little Jedi robe for 6 inch, and they have wires in them too, so they end up.
No, man, it's so. I actually might have a figure coming soon. That Rebel Tech made a Flash. So
okay.
I got that.
Badass.
I had that pre-ordered, but I'll get.
Yo, at one point, I only had like 3 pre-orders with BBTS, and that was it.
Dude, I mean, anymore. So like, this is what 2023. What have I bought this year? I probably bought 5 figures all year. I bought that Rebel Tech Superman. I bought.
I wish I could say that.
I bought that Wolverine retro card with the X-Men costume. I gave that to my kids. Mm-hmm. I bought that on a whim. And then like the only other things I bought were like for customs. Like
even now I only have 9 with BBTS. I've got a bunch with Pulse. But that's about it.
Another Rebel Tech Batman to do make custom. Shit, it might be less than 5. It might be like 3 or 4. This Flash I think might be 4. But yeah, it's just
I just fucking I'm tangent man today. But you got we were talking about streaming services, and then you brought up FX with the bear. And what I was thinking on from that is you saw the Shogun trailer, right?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, we could talk about that.
Because
I haven't seen it yet. I'm gonna look it up.
That's one of the 2 shows that I'm excited for coming up. That and Dead Boy Detectives is going to be on Netflix.
Dead Boy Detectives. I don't know anything about that.
It's from the Sandman universe.
Okay, cool. So wait, so that Sandman show that's still going, right?
There's season 2 got greenlit.
Okay,
yeah, good. Season 2 is coming.
Wasn't that like kind of done for a while? Like they said it was too expensive or something.
That's what they were saying, but then like it broke like some records for
Netflix. It was pretty big for Netflix
because they released 2 extra episodes.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is like a thank you.
Yeah, it was really killer.
Well, that's good, man, because it's like let the people kind of speak to and it's like see what people want instead of just the studio being like, wow, no, it's expensive.
But like what you got with that fucking Sandman extra shit was so good.
It's good though, man.
It was that animated cat episode, and I forget the other one.
That that Shogun show, I was really excited for that. And I'm not saying I'm out and not going to watch it, but the trailer bummed me out a little bit just because I feel like it was a lot of people on green screens of them just being outside.
Yeah.
Where it's like to me, shooting on location changes all of that. Which like with Ahsoka, for as many criticisms as I had it, and I don't think that show was that good. I think they filmed a lot of that on location, and it at least looked good. Where it's like the Shogun show, and I don't know if it's stuff that they could fix, or maybe I'll be so into the story I won't give a shit because that's happened also.
It's so weird how you and I can agree and disagree on shit like that. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
and that's to me, you know, I'm like, I wish I wasn't this way, but it's like aesthetics.
Yeah.
No, I get you though.
That's why I can't watch Beast Wars, dude.
Yeah, because of the weird ass. Yeah, I agree. Everything does look better when it's shot like on location. That's why Game of Thrones was so goddamn good. Game of Thrones always
original, the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Yeah, all New Zealand.
Yeah, and then they didn't do that with The Hobbit. They filmed in the finest green screens in New Zealand, I guess. But Andor 2 was all pretty much shot on location. I think it ends up being cheaper from what I understand to just do that with a smaller crew if able.
Yeah.
I think it makes more sense. Plus, it looks better, man. I don't know.
It does look better. I think
you and I I'm not going to do it tonight, but we're gonna get into why. I gotta know exactly what you hate about Ahsoka. We don't want to do it tonight because I got a feeling it's gonna go to because I love Ahsoka and I don't know, I can't figure out why people. But I did see I had some issues with it, but I feel like a lot of people had more issues than I did with it. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
but I can figure it out. But
in a statement, it felt like part of the series.
Well, yeah, it absolutely was.
Oh.
It's the sequel to Rebels.
Yeah, but I feel like it also, I think this relied too much on of us watching the next thing.
Yeah,
but it had to have because it all centered around.
It doesn't feel like the story stood on its own.
Yeah, and I don't think.
I don't know. I don't think you need to see Rebels. Is that what you mean?
I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about what's to come.
Oh, yeah. Well,
so like most.
Well, my problem is they traded in on people's nostalgia and love for Rebels, and so they start you off there, right?
Okay, yeah.
And they start you off quick and fast. You got Hera, you got Ahsoka, you got Sabine.
Yeah.
All in the first episode.
Well,
right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So they've set you up. This is a rebel story.
Well, it is. It is a rebel. It was
right.
Okay. Ahsoka has become entrenched with the rebel show.
Right. But here's the thing. As you go on through that, right? You never move beyond anything that tells a new story you couldn't have told in Rebels.
True. And actually I do. I think the reason
and then at the end of it, the story going forward that people are excited for, it has nothing to do with Ahsoka.
Well, it's Thrawn.
It's Thrawn, I mean, yeah.
Well, they understand. When they first introduced Thrawn into like canon, like actual canon, it was through Rebels. Right. So Thrawn is considered a Rebels character. Okay, to a lot of people, and
so they're trading in on Rebels again.
Well, yeah, kind of, but he's I don't know, but he's trading on. Y'all are thinking that they're trading in. They have no choice. They're all part of the story is about rebel characters.
But that's what I'm saying, man. Is like
to be the villain here because he is a villain that has to do the most with these characters. Like I think that makes sense.
Well, he is. He's the one that they fought mostly against in Rebels. He's the one that was horrifically brutal and bad.
Right, but what I'm saying is this never felt like anything to me but them trying to do live action Rebels.
Well,
it didn't feel. I don't feel like the characters moved forward. I feel like if anything they regressed.
That's
I don't know. I don't know about regress. They grew up kind of. Like what did you expect Ezra to be? Ezra's been trapped on a planet.
I'm talking about Ahsoka.
Ezra, I think
Ahsoka. Well, okay.
It's Ahsoka
I'm not.
Sabine,
Sarah, the whole thing.
Yeah, see, I can't go around Ahsoka. My problem with Ahsoka, and I don't know if it's the actress or if it's the way she's being told to play the role.
I think it's both.
I think Ahsoka.
The latter.
If you look at it, how Ahsoka's character was in animation compared to how she is, and she's too stoic in the live action. She's not. Ahsoka's not that stoic. So I don't. It's like they changed Ahsoka's character a lot. Now, I don't know if it's because they're trying to say that she's been through a lot of shit or what.
All the sequel shit with her and EE and I, I think he's wrong most things, and I'll stand by that. We agree on that. When Ahsoka left the Jedi Order, that was that kind of meant something. It's man, maybe she's seeing that
right.
Like the whole cracks
it was supposed to mean something, absolutely.
Yeah, but then I think that was wasted, and not on Ahsoka the series, but in where she ends up in. I guess it was Book of Boba Fett, where she's just a strict Jedi Order, true believer of the prequel.
Yeah, but because that's not, that's not the way Ahsoka's supposed to be.
Exactly,
she's not supposed to be.
That's why I was like, wait, so what? Yeah. Why did she go through all of that only to end up?
I get what you mean.
Where she was, but even before then, but then I feel like this series kind of picked up on that a little bit more. Sabine, I was just uninterested in. I think that's.
I just don't. I think Sabine. They didn't. How to say it? I don't think they included her in enough. I don't think she was.
I think she was meant to be the heart of the show. Because Ahsoka wasn't, but then if you don't care about her, or if she's unlikable, so there's one instance where do you remember there's that fake out where I don't remember if it was when they're in the New Galaxy where it seemed as if Sabine had just left them behind it somewhere.
It's when she surrenders. She surrenders and gives the.
I think it might have even been after that, where they're it's Sabine left us behind, and then she shows back up and kind of swoops in and saves them. When she left him behind, I was like, yeah, that's on brand for her character, and but that's not a likable character.
No, she's a little.
See him do that thing, and be like, that's
she's off the cuff. That's her thing, and
yeah,
I don't know. I liked her okay. I thought they kind of made too big of a.
I don't think the actress did a bad job or anything. I didn't think it's just like where she ended up, and kind of to Nick's thing where kind of it's just like just more kind of rinse and repeat Rebels.
Yeah,
my criticism.
Well, it was because that's what it was.
But like the new and to me, like the really interesting characters like Balin. What was he? I needed more of him because
but
interesting, fresh.
See,
he seemed what Ahsoka should have been. Of like,
but
I was in the Order and now I'm not anymore. But I
right
why?
But then I didn't
like to know what the fuck you're doing.
I just didn't understand what they were doing with him. Exactly. What was his end game? I didn't get it. I didn't know.
It's a waste.
I don't know.
He wanted peace through any means.
Yeah, but
he thought bringing Thrawn back to the galaxy and getting that war going now, and Thrawn probably being able to win, would have brought peace to the galaxy faster. So
he was a peace even through tyranny kind of person.
It's like more like it's less peace, more order.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
But then like even at the end when they do get there, he's like, I'm going to leave that alone. I'm just going to stay on this planet. It's interesting because you'll find out in season 2, you know? Like
and now we'll never find out.
Yeah, because he's dead now.
It's such a bummer, man, because I would have rather had him have an arc that closed and he's done away with.
After this, if Ray Stevenson wasn't dead, I would have fucking screamed for a Balin fucking series.
Or a comic book, or like a novel written by James Luceno.
I like the character, but if I'm sure that they didn't know Ray Stevens was going to pass away. But I feel like the way they left him, I hated the way they left him at the end of the show. I hated it. I
loved it because
I didn't like it.
I felt like he was the one character that grew througgot that entire season.
Exactly. Yeah.
You think he grew? I felt like he was just the same guy all the time.
Yep.
I disagree with you in that I didn't love it. But what I didn't love about it is what I would have liked for him to express what was happening.
Yeah.
Like just for the audience's sake, and then say, I'm staying here because of this. And say, you know,
right.
Maybe not spell it out because you don't need to tell everything, right?
Like,
but I do think
what I got from that was that like he was heartbroken after he basically told Shin bye-bye.
Yeah,
like he was heartbroken. And he was like, "Fuck, I've got to reevaluate everything my damn self," you know, because I was. You know, if I'm like the way I read into it was like he was behaving as if, oh my God, if you know, I tell Ahsoka that she's a product of Anakin and Shin is a product of me, and I disapprove of her, you know, what have I done wrong? And I thought like he was gonna go basically.
Well, you got a lot more from him than I did. Holy shit! I gotta go watch the show again and see if I can get some more of that. Because Nick, I don't even know where the fuck you got that from. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Watch when he tells her to go.
Yeah, when he tells her fulfill her destiny. He says fulfill your destiny.
Yeah, watch that incline of his head, like. In the emotion,
yeah, and then and you get a little bit of that with his, I guess the duel.
And then when he puts the hood up and turns,
okay, I get the emotion. She's been my student for so long. I get the emotion that you know now he's sending her on to do her own thing. Okay, I get that. I can see the little emotion, but you got way more out of it than I could see. I was like I just saw he's sad to see her go, but he knows she's got to do her own thing. And he's got to go up to the top of a fucking mountain and stand there and look stupid because he's gone. He got left behind. I don't know. I didn't get the end game for him. I still don't get it. I don't understand.
I don't get the end game either. And that's the problem. Like the thing Sam was saying was there wasn't enough exposition with that character.
Maybe if there are,
I understand why there couldn't be because it was an Ahsoka series.
And
apparently he
just wound up being the most.
He definitely is one of the
me,
characters.
Yeah, like
the most interesting part of the series,
and also the most well acted of all of them by leaps and bounds. And it is one of those instances where it's like what you get with the
Oh, I don't know. I thought the kid that played Ezra did a good job. I thought he was really good.
Yeah, I thought
because he has to play an aged character in which we have no idea how that got.
Maybe that's why it's kind of passable, because like there is that gap.
Yeah, maybe so. We don't know. How
giving, but it's almost like with what you get with the prequel trilogy, where George Lucas, I don't think is a good like director of actors. I think he's a great technical director and a visionary director of like how he can just map out.
He's got
all these things in his head, but then like with the prequel trilogy, you got Ewan McGregor, you got Liam Neeson, you got Natalie Portman, who like those three are in Christopher Lee. Yeah. Right. And I think to an extent, Ian McDermott
choose scenery.
Exactly. But so then you can have those people where you don't have to tell them much and they're gonna just kill it every time.
Yeah.
And then you have Hayden Christensen, who might need that support, and you have the first kid that played Anakin, and
Jake Lloyd.
Yeah, and then just like so many of the other kind of bit actors in there who probably need a little bit more. And I don't think that the directors who are attached to Ahsoka, and I don't even know who they are, but I know my biggest like realization was this, because with Mandalorian season 1 and 2, I know they picked one director to do all of the Obi-Wan show. And I was like, okay, this would be cool. Like, I've watched those episodes in The Mandalorian that she did, and they're good. And that show to me was just a disaster, right? So I do think that like it kind of speaks to the directors that are involved in all of this, and I think they are maybe a little bit more hit and miss, and they might need a little stronger of a hand.
Yeah, you guys will give me something to think about now that maybe I just didn't notice before.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that like you should think it's bad or anything like that.
No, I don't think it's bad.
I read into a lot of things, and I'm always wrong. So,
but no, it's not that I think it's bad. It's just I don't think I had the criticisms that other people had for it. The same ones I know, and some of the ones I understand what you're saying. I and like Ahsoka, I agree with her character as a whole, but
I am so sick and tired of the trope that when somebody, quote unquote, betrays themselves, they lose a fight and almost die, and then they have to come back and be what they were supposed to be. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the thing. It's this thing like in Final Crisis with Batman. When Batman uses the gun, Batman has to die because he betrayed himself.
Right.
Ahsoka, instead of being, she was supposed to be, not a Jedi. She fucking, not only was she being a Jedi, she fucking was holding Sabine to those same principles, Mm-hmm. And then she loses the fight, and then she changes, and everything's good again.
Right. Yeah, it's like she gets back to a little bit back, but yeah, I see what you're saying. It's
and then it's like the series ends. Literally everything goes wrong for them, and she's like, "This is great."
Yeah, this is great.
Does the Thrawn thing of being like, everything went wrong.
Yeah, this is girl math.
Good.
Yeah. I mean, I did love when
Ahsoka and Sabine having girl dinner. There you go.
I liked when Ezra showed up at the and an Imperial shuttle, all banged up and shit. It gets out in a stormtrooper suit.
And he like wore the helmet the whole time.
Yeah, I just didn't get. Why did he take the helmet off right away? Like that bothered me.
And it's like you could have did the reveal, Russ, of like he's walking down the ramp and you see his legs first, and then his waist, and then his torso, and then it's
right.
But he walks all the fucking way out.
Yeah, and then waits till Chopper. Waits for Chopper to come up and notice who he is. I guess
that to me is like, and I know like over the scope of the whole series, but it's like it's just choices. Like there were so many people
Such
involved
hokey
in that
shit.
choice of like who, like all the people that had their hands on the script, all the people that had the costume designers who had to make sure his helmet looked right for the scene, the directors and the producers who were on set when they filmed that shot that didn't say, what if we framed it this way where, you know, but then it's like just, and like, so we knew, the audience knew.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, but it's.
Oh my God, dude!
I was like, God damn, are they gonna shoot him?
Shoot him!
That's I was nervous too that we were gonna shoot him, but I'm like, dude, all I kept saying was, take your fucking helmet off. Show who you are, dude.
Could you imagine the mind fuck that would have been?
Oh my God, dude! Then I'd be like, give me Ahsoka season 2 right now.
I'd be like, yes, let's go. What the fuck?
And like Star Wars finally has some guts, man, and just
You mean shoot him even after he took the helmet off? Holy fuck!
No, before he took.
Oh, okay. All right.
That is the thing. Hold on. That is the thing that story-wise would have made sense, because remember when Balin and Shin came in pretending to be good
that's
Jedi?
right, pretending to be
iced all those dudes. So like those same troopers and whatnot like would have been on edge, and it would have made sense of like the character arc of like the New Republic. Be like, don't sit your asses on your laurels and just let anyone walk out of these shuttles. Like we just had a whole crew killed by these rogue Jedi. So like, how are you gonna let the storm? It's like that would have made sense. And then
would have to be up.
Resolved the next season.
It makes sense that they'd be up in arms a little bit and a little bit of concerned. Yeah.
Come at me, Disney. I'll make your shit better.
We'll do it for free, man.
Oh my God, I would. Marvel Comics too.
I do think they could do with having somebody there to like try to lend them like a little bit of common sense, because sometimes I think that like directors and writers,
they need some people there that aren't just yes men and drooling on each other's cocks.
Yeah, I think that's
a good point.
Like you watch like the Mandalorian did these like those kind of like behind, like after the series was done, like behind the scenes thing, and they're just like this. Well, this was so great and so perfect because of like this person sitting at the table and everything, and I think that's kind of how it is. Like
glug.
Yeah, because like what's the director's name? He did that movie
Rodriguez?
No, it was the movie. It was like about the kids that could like move shit with their minds, and it was like all like handheld. Start with a C, I think. I'm fucked up. God damn it, dude! But Josh Trank is the director. He directed that. The really bad Fantastic Four movie that was like messed up by studio interference and everything. He Chronicle was the movie.
Chronicle. Okay, all right. I remember Chronicle.
He spoke out so poorly against whatever studio. Josh Trank. Did I say that already?
Yeah.
Josh Trank. Okay, yeah. And he was supposed to direct that Boba Fett movie, but he spoke out so much against the studio after Fantastic Four that they just like iced him out and were like, "Fuck you, dude. Good luck."
And that's some shit. They couldn't take some criticism.
Yeah.
So they said, "Fuck you for giving any criticism. We're done with you."
Yeah. And then like, at the time, those were different studios.
That's so bad, man.
Yeah. Because Fantastic
I wonder if they
was put out under Fox, and that was before Disney owned them. But they were just like no, fuck you. And I don't know what he's done since then. He might have done something here or there, but I don't know.
I often wonder though, do they understand how they look when they do that shit? Like they look petty.
I don't think that they
close-minded.
I think that they don't care. I think they
probably right. They don't give a shit.
They need some old fuck like me that's gonna sit in there and smoke cigarettes and drink coffee while they're doing this. And then when they bring out fucking Power Ranger kids on scooters, somebody just to smack them and be like, "What the fuck are you thinking?"
Just stop. Like nobody wants.
Why? What are you doing? Why did you force this into here? This doesn't make sense. This isn't what anybody wants.
They love to try to fit this square peg into the round hole all the time. It makes no sense. It's like, come on, dude. again, their decisions that they make are just really bad, and a lot of the stuff. I mean, the best show that I can say that I've seen so far, where I feel like the decisions were all pretty good, and maybe it's because somebody just let it go. What was probably Andor, where I feel like Andor. To me, Andor felt like it went the way it should go. Like it the story and the character, by the way, behaved the way I felt like he should behave.
Yeah, exactly, dude. It's like he's not he didn't end up like kind of fully formed how we see him in Rogue One. But like
Rogue One, right? Because that takes place before Rogue One, right? So it's a prequel one, right?
The thing I like about Andor, because like I watched that season or that series, and then I went back, and when I watched Rogue One, it's like seeing him and Mon Mothma in the same room in Rogue One.
Yeah.
Now that like means something.
Well, yeah, no doubt.
Andor, because I couldn't imagine that after seeing Andor. Like those two would never.
Yeah. Okay,
like,
that's something.
So on different opposite ends of this struggle that like.
That's something that is extremely positive for this new Disney thing. Is that actress for Mon Mothma?
She's good, man.
She is very good. Like she just conveys that part so well.
Mm-hmm. And I do think that I wonder who directed these episodes of Andor, if it was the same person, because I do feel like that had some strong character direction. And it's like you do have people like Stellan Skarsgård who's just gonna fucking kill it no matter what.
True. But I felt I could see like the character that I loved in the movie when I watched it after I was done with the series, you could see how he got from the beginning of the show to where he is in the movie. You could see. I feel like they built him up and had him.
You do have I'm just looking this up real quick. You do have different. I think he has 3 different directors. So the first 3 episodes were by Toby Haynes, and then Susanna White did the next 3, which it makes sense because they're 3 episode arcs. And then it kind of switches off Benjamin Caron, Toby Haynes, Benjamin Caron. But yeah, I think they had to have been in a room together.
That's kind of cool.
Talking about like the theme of all of this and
fucking nuts, dude.
Look at how that bullshit session goes all the time.
I know. Sorry, I took us down on a tangent. I apologize.
No, it's okay.
Oh, it's terrible. Anyway, but I totally forgot what we were planning on talking about now tonight. I forgot. I totally ever sidetracked. Oh Jesus!
No,
Christ.
It's okay. I had a good segue. A lot of the problems that we're talking about with the Star Wars shit for the series and movies go with stewardship of the franchise, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? There's a responsibility of these companies to keep these franchises fucking healthy. You know, and Marvel, also owned by Disney, is going down some rough paths to me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like in film, TV, or comics, or
I think all of them.
Mm-hmm.
I think the most positive thing that I've heard coming out of Marvel is that the only movie coming out in 2024 for Marvel is Deadpool 3. That's it. Everything else has been pushed forward.
Yeah, and I wonder if that is just like they have to be seeing. There has to be a drop off in like numbers of everything. So I know the Marvels is gonna bomb, or it has bombed. I think it's safe to say.
I haven't seen any. I haven't seen what it's done so far in the theaters. I don't know.
I haven't either.
But
like the streaming series numbers, and I don't even know what has come out. Like I give recently for them. I know it's been Loki's on now, which I haven't watched, but that's just me. I know what was before that. She-Hulk.
Yeah. Okay. I could not. I've gone back and tried to watch it 3 times, and I can't get past I can't get
Wait,
past
what,
the first
She-Hulk?
episode. Yeah,
Same. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, same.
I can't get past the first
Dude,
episode.
She-Hulk was like, I watched that. It was all of us, me and the boys and my wife in the room, and she was like, what is this? Like, she like was so confused and put off by it because she's used to all the Marvels. Like, she saw like all the Avengers movies in theater with me, like, and like that was like She-Hulk for whatever reason was like it seemed like something different to her. Which like she's like my barometer for how does like a normie, because like she doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
But, like, she's familiar with it because I make her be. You know, like with She-Hulk, like that first episode, she was just like, "Wait, what is this?" Like she was like so confused by it.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
it did kind of feel like it was in a different universe, dude. It was weird. I got a whole, I don't know. It was odd. It was an odd show. I don't know. I don't know
Man,
what to make of it.
I saw that. Like I said, I couldn't get past the first episode, so I only saw.
I get it.
I saw the clip with fucking Tim Roth playing Abomination in the fucking cell.
Yeah.
Like, Abomination is not a fucking joke.
No. He's supposed to be able to, like, I mean, to go toe to toe with the Hulk. Abomination was supposed to, I mean, but I'm not saying he beat the Hulk, but he's supposed to be able to fight the Hulk. I mean, have a good fight before he gets killed, shit knocked out.
It's like, and like, to me, all right. So let's talk about the MCU first, but don't let me forget about the comics. I don't fucking care how long we go. I'm gonna get into the fucking comics.
No, because I think the comics are part of it. You're right. Okay, absolutely.
Because that's the source.
Yes.
Of all of this, and like, all right. So let's start with the MCU. I fell out of love with the MCU after Endgame.
Well, I can understand why.
I don't know if it, because, and we all do have to remember, COVID was at that time.
That's true. It came. Yeah.
But what was released after Endgame? Black Widow, right?
Right, and
Eternals.
Yeah,
Shang-Chi.
All right, sorry, I had to step away for a second, but the COVID thing only matters so much because imagine if COVID struck right after Captain America's Civil War.
Dude,
we have came out of the
that was going to be my point too. Yeah, like the material wasn't strong enough.
Yeah. But like that was like a perfect time for COVID to hit because nobody gave a fuck anymore. And listen, like the movies that came out afterwards, like that's like the perfect illustration of like there were movies that should have been in the previous phase that were afterthought, and like that should have been like the first indication like of how directionless it all was. Of like they didn't know where they wanted to go after Endgame, and it's like, yeah.
Who the fuck told them Eternals was a good idea?
Man, and it's like that movie, even for me, like I was excited for that, not because I care anything for the Eternals, but just because of the director that was involved. I was like, this could be interesting to me. And I think, again, it's one of those things like, I think that movie looks really good. I think it's shot beautifully, but I just don't give a fuck about anybody involved in any of the characters on screen. So like that is a problem.
Shang-Chi.
Yeah,
I got as baked as I fucking could. And that movie fucking bored me to tears. I love kung fu movies. I love superhero movies.
Yeah.
Shang-Chi was a disappointment in each genre.
Yeah, I was bad at both.
I had a tough time with that one too, and
all I could think of is like, this seems like it was written for Jackie Chan when he was doing like the Monkey King and shit like that.
Right.
Like, it seemed like an old Jackie Chan script.
Yeah, I don't know. It seemed like it was written for Jackie Chan.
Like, it seemed like an old Jackie Chan script. Like, it seemed like an old Jackie Chan script. Like, it seemed like an old Jackie Chan script.
it was tough for me to watch it because I felt like they were, a lot of the MCU went away from the comic books and the way the characters were in comics, but I felt like that was one that they needed to probably stick closer to the maybe the source material a little bit better. Because I feel like in the movie
why
they changed.
do a Shang-Chi movie in the fucking first place?
Yeah, I don't even know if it was
I think for
necessary.
me, it's like Russ. It's like I have to have what's my principled take on this?
Yeah,
and it doesn't make sense for me to say they need to be the way they are in the comics because I do think we've seen some characters I think were Thanos. I think is the biggest example for me of like I think they
Thanos.
No, I know.
Like improved on him.
Yeah.
From the comics.
Now I will agree with you on that for some characters, but there are some characters where the comic version is better than what they give you on live action.
Robert Downey Jr. changed Tony Stark and Iron Man forever.
Yes, he did. He made Tony Stark kind of a lot more of a douchebag than he originally was in the comic books. To me,
no, he made him a lot more likable.
Well, you get likable.
That for me, are you the way you are in the comics? That matters, but only so much. Do I care about the character?
Yeah.
Well, that's probably the most important thing, isn't it?
So that's where like Shang-Chi just doesn't get me. I don't give a fuck. I'll never watch that movie again. It's not because of anything other than they didn't write the characters in a way. It just struck me.
Right.
No, I think you're right. I think maybe that's what it comes down to is that Shang-Chi just didn't not enough people gave a shit. I mean,
I finally got through Black Widow, and there was only one bright spot in that movie, and that was fucking Florence Pugh as Yelena Belova.
She's very
she's amazing.
She's really good in everything, man.
Yeah,
she's I loved her, and I hated Natasha in Black Widow.
Yeah.
I
literally don't remember that movie enough to feel strongly one way or the other.
But the thing, but like here's the thing. To me, if you look at that first Avengers movie, those characters were more dynamic. Okay, the ones I'm talking about are Hawkeye, Black Widow,
Main Six,
Iron Man, not Hulk or Thor. But even Cap were the most dynamic portrayals we had seen of those characters in comics or on screen.
Okay. I can go with that.
At that time.
Yeah.
And like we're not getting that anymore.
I mean, that's like hard to argue against because like what's a better Hawkeye story? You know what I mean? Like they kind of don't exist as much.
Iron Man was probably 1962. I'm thinking because he was in Tales of Suspense, right. And I think it turned Avengers was 63. So Iron Man's been around now for what 60 years now.
Yeah.
Up until the Avengers movie, and up until the Iron Man movie,
Iron Man 1, I think.
Up until Iron Man 1, there had been two Iron Man stories worth of shit in the entire history of the fucking character.
There was
Demon in a Bottle and Armor Wars.
Yeah. Well, and it's like that movie, Iron Man 1, I think that movie is one that it's really good. It still is really good. And I think they make Tony Stark Robert Downey Jr. just obviously acts his ass off in that movie.
Yes.
It's well written. You give a shit about him. He's a really flawed character, but then like that's the thing. You care about him. And I think that drew more inspiration from Ultimate Iron Man necessarily than and it did a mix of both. which I think good because some of those Ultimate comic stories are really good, and obviously a lot of the classic stories are really good too. But like, that movie, like they kind of just checked all these boxes. You care about the character, which is the most important thing. You care about that character. He goes through an arc that makes sense, and he's not perfect along the way. He makes mistakes, and it's also, the movie also looks really good. The character design is fucking perfect by the time he gets like his first red and gold suit of armor.
Dude, that first armor was hard.
I mean, it's like, remember when he lands for the first time in Afghanistan or wherever he is? Like, I mean, it's like, how do you beat that? You don't beat that. You just don't beat that. And you know, the last few things I've read online, like article wise about the MCU, is like the idea of like them bringing back the original 6 Avengers and it's like, nope, that won't fix this, because I think as opposed to that would just be to start from scratch with reset everything, because to bring Tony Stark back, to bring Chris Evans back as Captain America would and Black Widow would just be like so many mental gymnastics to do all of that.
Christopher Robin.
Get out of here, man. So it's like, what do you? Yeah, that just sounds to me like they are scrambling and have nothing to even grasp on. You know?
Okay. They're scrambling and they're panicking right now. But I think it's good. Because they fucking scrap fucking Born Again.
I know, man. I heard that they were just like, we don't like the direction.
Yeah.
We don't like
Captain America went from being Captain America Brave New World to Captain America New World Order. And is now being massive reshoots.
Yeah.
They went and fired most of the writing department of the fucking TV staff.
Huh.
Yeah, well, like I was reading this thing, they were like, they basically don't have showrunners behind any of these things.
And now like now Kevin Feige's going through and going to fucking implement showrunners now.
Yeah, which is good. Like, how do you not do that from the jump though? Like,
yeah, it's like, wow. But, and again, it goes to, these people are supposed to be watching out for these characters and making sure that you don't do something to them that's irreparable.
See, yeah, and I think also though too, there's all these motherfucking all these creative people, and they're all brilliant in their own ways, but all these motherfuckers have their own idea of what they want to do, and they want to take it in this direction, take it in that direction.
Like, to me,
there's two characters that were extremely well liked that are damaged now.
Well, yeah, and unfortunately, it's because
they are 2 of Marvel's biggest characters, and it's Hulk and Thor.
Yeah, you've got they're jokes anymore, like they're punchlines.
I got so angry. The Hulk, look, Thor. I get it. You wanted to make him a little funny. I one of the reasons I bagged on Ragnarok a bit was because I thought they were trying to be too funny in Ragnarok, in my opinion. That was my big complaint, right? Some people said, well, I didn't think so, and some people agreed, right? But
I liked Ragnarok at first.
I did too, but after I watched it a couple times,
dude, same,
I just started seeing.
I remember enjoying it.
Well, I just started seeing. You start noticing where they're like, intentionally trying to where they needed to be serious. The characters should be serious. They're cracking jokes, and it's not. It wasn't a light time. Yeah, I feel like some of the jokes they were in the wrong place in the movie. You know, it just wasn't. And I don't know. Maybe Anna was saying they were trying to soften it up, but
you made a Thor Hulk buddy cop movie.
Yeah.
and threw in one of the best Hulk storylines as a plot point in your Thor movie.
Right.
Now we're not getting that.
Yeah. Right.
We're not gonna get a live action Planet Hulk or World War Hulk.
They've already done it. They've squeezed it in. The only cool even when they were like doing the fight between Thor and Hulk, right, in the arena, that scene, it should have been so much more badass.
I feel like it would have meant more if they had like never met each other.
Or maybe Hulk just was so fucked up in the head.
This is my friend from work.
Right. I mean, that's dumb as shit. You know, we worked together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I will admit, it was kind of cool that he thought the Hulk was gonna, and the Hulk still smash his ass. But it would have been better if the Hulk really had fucked him up and there wasn't any kind of, I don't know, man. And then the jokes, when Hulk, I guess he sees Hulk's junk, and he's like, whoa, and all that dumb shit. Like, come on, man. Give me a break, dude.
It's bad. But yeah, I think it's. I don't know where they go from this. I think they, just kind of lean to these whatever, like Secret Wars would be the biggest thing. But it's like they can't even do the next Avengers movie because apparently Jonathan Majors is like, they don't want anything to do with them anymore because of this.
What are they going to do?
Violence. Which I guess is still ongoing, like nothing's proven or nothing's certain.
Well, the thing is like this is not the first time this man has been accused of this.
Yeah,
that came out after the allegations where the young woman recanted.
Yeah,
Jesus.
And so I guess she recanted, but the police are like, "Yeah, fuck that, we're gonna go forward."
Yeah, well, maybe they have like you said, other people that came forward. But that's just tough for the studio because, while this is
they're boned either way.
They're boned either way, and also I feel like, and it's tough to look at it this way. But I feel like when people are, and I'm not saying he's like being canceled over some like bullshit because this might be 100% true.
Yeah,
but like let's say a 2-year-long investigation proves that like none of it means anything or it's all bullshit, then I feel like the people who like kind of like stick to their guns end up being okay in the long run. But then it's like that's the risk you have to take it like from the studio standpoint is to be like,
I'll tell you right now, he's fucking great in Loki.
Yeah, I'll take your word for it. No, but it's like a tough thing of like you're guilty until proven innocent, more of innocent until proven guilty. And I think it does pay off to just like stick to your guns, but then it's like he also could just be a fucking monster.
Now like I said, I binged it all yesterday.
Yeah,
weren't there rumors of Loki having massive reshoots too?
I don't remember. I kind of forgot that this second season was coming until like people were like, I'm on episode 4 and like, I don't know. Because I guess it picked up right when Ahsoka ended, right?
Yeah. Holy hell, no reshoots.
Yeah. Loki.
No
I mean, I like the first season of Loki.
Reshoots.
So I just haven't watched the second season yet, but I like the first season. I thought the first season was amazing. But I was
still like in it at that point,
Yeah, and Loki being.
I'm telling you guys right now, watch. No matter how you feel about the first season, watch the second season.
Oh, I love the season.
Because what we've been talking about here, I'm not gonna fucking spoil it, but Loki season 2 feels like the end of season 1, where it spawned off the plot for a whole nother movie.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Loki season 2 feels even bigger than that.
Well.
And I also think with us talking about Jonathan Major and his problems, and again, I'm not going to go into what happens.
Right.
the end of Loki season 2 makes it so they can pivot and rename that movie.
Ah, see, there you go.
Oh,
So
really?
they gave themselves a way. They gave themselves a way around, a workaround. But okay, but we get this. There are characters that I feel like they have taken care of, and there's
Captain
others
America,
that I felt like
Iron Man,
right, and there are others that I feel
Widow,
like
Hawkeye,
they have. Even Loki. I feel like I love
Panther,
Loki.
Yeah,
and they've done pretty well about Loki. I mean, I was pissed when I thought they killed him off.
And again, appearance wise, straight 616 Loki. Attitude, character wise,
yeah,
Ultimate Universe, straight up.
Sure, but there's still times when they make decisions though that have you scratching your head. And you're like, what the fuck are you doing? Like I didn't like the way they took the Guardians of the Galaxy. In my opinion, I like the first Guardians of the
Galaxy season. Fucking part 3, whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah, well, I didn't watch it at first.
It's one of the worst movies I've seen,
and I finally got to watch it, and I feel like it was, to me. If you ask me to rank the 3, it's the worst of the 3.
Guardians of the Galaxy is Plan 9 from outer space bad.
You may have hated it more than I did, but I have my issues with it. I just didn't like. I feel like I just feel like the writing has changed some of the characters too extremely. Like, I don't know, there's just too much things that are not
Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was Plan 9 from outer space bad with none of the heart.
You would be a really good one of those really good writers that writes like how
like a review, man.
Writes how movie reviewers are like. He could be that guy that writes.
We're talking about stewardship of characters.
Yeah, right.
What they did to Adam Warlock is a travesty.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. That is really, that was really tough, because it's like, wow, you guys took a really cool character and I feel like you fucked them up so bad. Yeah, exactly. It's not like what I thought it would be at all.
Oh my god, what was that? Oh, you know what?
I don't know.
Fucking, I expected fucking Adam Warlock to start acting like that fucking kid in Game of Thrones any second and starting to ask to suck the golden chick's tits for milk. He was that fucking bad.
They made it. They just made okay.
And I've seen that kid in things, and I like him. Will Poulter.
Well, dude, he's in The Bear season 2. He's really good.
He's a really good actor.
He's like really good in anything, and that sucks, man. When you have that, where you have like it's okay, it's a good actor.
I don't blame the actor for it at all.
Do it.
Not this time. No. I mean, you can blame me. Yeah, you can say there's some actors that maybe
but like
didn't turn in a good performance. This is not an actor problem.
Even how much I hate that fucking movie, I don't know the actor's name.
Mm-hmm.
But the dude that was the High Evolutionary, he put a fucking performance in.
He's good. He was in Peacemaker.
Okay.
Which was also, James Gunn. Joint. And he was good in that too.
I mean,
I love that show though.
The problem that I had with this is that I mean, to go through that movie and pick out the performances that I really stuck out to me and would be great, but I have to watch it again, and I don't know if I want to watch it. Because I can't.
James Gunn wrote Nebula like she was Clint Eastwood.
No, man, I like Nebula as a character. I really do. I always thought she was cool.
Gamora was completely unlikable throughout the entire movie. And had no redemption.
Nothing at all.
I didn't like her at the end of the movie either.
No, I didn't either. And I just felt like she was just a stone cold bitch. and that's not. But that's not how Gamora.
And that's the thing. And that's the thing. They think that women characters have to be bitches to be strong characters, and it's
Right.
just not that way.
Well, yeah,
It's
and
not.
that's the thing too.
It's
where
very
it
rare.
just comes off. It's like they have to be like kind of crass and abrasive, where it just like makes them to be like unlikable. You know,
Right.
I feel like
Exactly.
They think, like that means strength in a way.
I will.
It's like I don't. It's just real quick. I don't think like male characters have to carry that same burden or come off in that same way, where they're like, what's a male character who's just strong but like is unlikable that is endearing?
Well, there are a lot of characters.
Okay,
though,
there's one I can tell you in the comics that I love, but some people hate him.
Who's that?
He's strong. He talks a lot of shit. He backs it up, and not a lot of people like him. And it's Phantom X.
Yeah, but he's funny.
Yeah,
so he's likable.
Yeah,
he's
same.
Okay.
So he's likable.
All right, I got.
I
you,
love
yeah.
Phantom X. Dude. Phantom X is great. He's funny.
Yeah,
so he's likable.
I think it's the whole reason why.
Dickhead, you know?
I think the whole reason why Deadpool is entertaining is because of all the bullshit he talks. He's a complete asshole there.
Okay, so yeah.
I mean, Deadpool's a jerk.
I guess,
but he's funny.
And
he makes him likable. You know, I mean, shit. Even Spider-Man's an asshole. Spider-Man's a total asshole, but he's amusing. And he's a good guy. So we're like, all right, Spidey's cool.
Man. Oh man, like I've been, and again, this whole concept of stewardship that we're talking about, going over. I think we can hit Sony real quick, and then I'll go on to comics.
Yeah.
I've been defending the fuck out of Craven, and like the thing is like I want it to be good.
The movie.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's like Aaron Taylor Johnson's a really good actor.
Yeah.
And I'd hate to see him wasted on a bad movie with a bad character. Probably shouldn't have his own movie.
Like the thing is like this. I like the concept, okay, and I figured out why I like the concept, and so I can't defend this movie anymore.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You ever heard of a comic called Secret Six?
yeah, that's Catman, right?
Yeah.
This is a fucking Catman movie.
Yeah, wasn't Bane one of the Secret Six?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Dude, this is a Catman movie.
Catman.
This isn't Craven.
This is Batman with a cat.
Yeah, and like I was trying to, and I was trying to defend it by like, okay, this is more like the Ultimate Universe Craven, who was like a reality star who became famous for like hunting different shit and then started hunting humans, right? That's the Ultimate Craven.
Well, I mean, but that's also in a way what like the original Craven. Craven is general, what you call it, from The Most Dangerous Game.
Yeah.
Rainsford, no, maybe that's the main character.
Yeah.
I forgot.
I don't know.
But yeah, he's the dude from The Most Dangerous Game. You know,
the Craven that I remember was from I never really read too many comics that he would show. I mean, he showed up in Spider-Man comics periodically and stuff, but I remember watching him on the animated Spider-Man, one of the animated series of Spider-Man. Yeah. And I thought he was so over the top. He cracked me up. I thought he was good.
Like Craven was
accent and everything. Like
yeah.
Yo, Craven was such a G in the comics that he stayed dead for over a decade, and they would mention him, and it was a gigantic thing. If they mentioned Craven, it was huge.
Oh wow, that's cool.
like Spidey would start fucking freaking out, like no matter what.
Craven. What?
Like that was one of the first. That was the first fucking Todd McFarlane arc. Torment, Craven's girlfriend Calypso, and the Lizard.
Spider-Man was traumatized.
Yeah, dude.
Craven's a badass dude.
And like, yo, so they got Craven's son running around in the comics, and I'll get to that later. But like, that's the thing. Like, Morbius was really bad. I wanted that movie to be good. I love Matt Smith, and I like Jared Leto.
I was like, I
like the character of Morbius.
Morbius was one of my favorites, one of my favorite villains, and it was one of my favorite villains who really kind of wasn't a villain, but he was, and then and what they did to him, what they did to that character in that movie was atrocious. Somebody should have their ass beat for that. Seriously, it was bad, man. I couldn't believe why.
Matt Smith is lucky that movie didn't tank his fucking career.
He should have his fucking. He should be locked up in a tank somewhere and buried.
But what
a fucking movie?
And that's another thing where it's like a really good actor just wasted on a trash ass movie.
And see, I thought that role would have been Jared Leto. I think it would have been a good role for him. I just think that, and I don't even want to trash his performance. I don't even know who I think he did all right. It's just the problem is that I think the writing was sucky, and I think the direction was sucky, and I just think the whole movie was just had a lot of trashy problems.
I think Jared Leto needs to stay the fuck away from superhero movies.
I think Jared Leto
probably,
needs to relax a little bit.
But
I read shit about like he would stay in character on set
for Suicide Squad, and he fucking gave Margot Robbie a rat. Yeah,
and it's but also for Morbius.
Oh Jesus.
Well, is he supposed to be one of those character actors?
Joker, like a method actor.
Yeah, a method actor. Yeah, stays in.
Like do it for the Joker. Yeah. Like that's an iconic character that everybody who has any sense of pop culture has an idea of what the Joker is to them, right?
All right.
People do not care about Morbius.
He's not an important enough character. That's why
Morbius,
he's not a villain.
You're not going to win any awards. Recognize that.
Morbius is only going to be recognized by a certain group of people. A certain fan base.
A very certain. Very
specific. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, because
people that read comics in 1993,
pretty much, and pretty much people who like or maybe
what, this isn't for me.
Yeah, if you like Spider-Man, because he was pretty much a Spider-Man villain. I mean, that's what he was.
Yeah,
he was.
That's it. That's all he should have been. I do feel like Sony is
what they
mistake with these movies.
What they did with the character in the comic books was pretty neat, because he ends up teaming up with Blade. Yeah, and they start the war of vampires
right now.
Yeah,
I would make a Spider-Man the animated series movie right now, and then I'd keep pumping out these Miles Morales Spider-Verse movies, because they're actually really good.
Yeah, I watched the newest one the other day.
Spider-Man from 2006. Yeah. I'd make that a movie. And just make these different versions of Spider-Man that people do have an attachment to.
Yeah.
And I'd bring back all the original voice actors and try to craft a story that people actually gave a shit about. Who the fuck is going to see a Madam Web movie?
I don't know.
And I'm not saying that because it's all females or whatever. Because who the fuck is going to see a Craven movie? I'm not going to watch that.
Okay,
I'm not going to watch that movie when it's free on Hulu.
I'm just going to tell
4 days after it comes out.
I'm just going to mentally tell myself it's Catman every time they say Craven.
La la la
la la la la la la.
I don't know, man. I have a hard time with.
But here's the thing: is they're supposed to know better.
Well, they should. They absolutely should.
They should know better.
Sony has been. I would say that they're drunk on their own success, but what success?
All their success is because it's attached to Marvel.
Something? I feel like people saw the
and Disney
that fucked them up.
Look, those Spider-Man movies that they get credit for, that they really had very little to do with.
Yeah,
that's all from the MCU guys, people,
Yeah, exactly.
And watch you watch now. No, I will give them credit for one movie that ended up being better than and that was Venom. Way better than I thought it was going to be, and I liked it. I thought they did all right with it, but then the way they attached Venom to Spider-Man was kind of just. Yeah, I was like, oh no, that's
to put a bow on this. I think that I'm feeling positive about the way the MCU is going to go, because it seems like they have made the choice that Star Wars didn't make.
Mm-hmm.
They're pivoting. Behind the scenes, they are making changes.
Oh yeah,
Star Wars is not doing that. So, hey, either evolve or die.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I'm telling you, Nick, I have a theory on to follow up on what you just said. I really believe that Disney truly believes that Star Wars is so big and so huge that no matter what the fuck we do, there's no way we can ruin it. We'll throw anything we want fucking out there. People will watch it. It's going to be great. They'll love it. It's Star Wars. That's it. I really do think their mentality is they think that franchise is so strong. And they may be right. I don't know. They think it's so strong, though, that nothing can bury it. Nothing can bring it down at all. And it's an arrogant way to go. It really is. That's a fucking arrogant way to go. Because I'm telling you, man.
I think that they're already seeing diminishing returns, and
I think they have to be.
Yeah, they have to be because I mean it's like they just upped the price of Disney Plus.
Yeah,
as a service. So I think that's a huge sign.
Yeah, I think they're seeing diminishing returns, and there's going to come a point where somebody's going to look at fucking Star Wars, and they're going to be like, "What is going on here? What needs to change?" And Star Wars is then going to pivot like the MCU is.
Yeah.
So
and it's like the MCU, like you could reboot all of it.
Yeah,
right?
very easily.
Because I feel like that's what comics do that, right?
Yeah.
But Star Wars, like they're fucked. Like they have to have the
No. Yeah.
And that's where like that stewardship comes in because
there was a fucking report in Variety that they're looking at fucking rebooting the original trilogy within the next 10 years.
It's like that's why
I heard something about that
like
too.
they chose to like with these new stories they're telling, like bring Luke Skywalker into it, and like look where it got them.
Well, they got writers and shit that think they can do it better. Yeah. They all do. They always do. They think they can do it better.
So, like, the positivity for me again is Marvel changing, and then you look at Star Wars and it's staying the course.
Oh yeah.
And then Sony is on the complete opposite end of staying the same and not knowing what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah.
So, like, it's going to be a rough few years that way, and we're not even talking about DC.
I know, yeah, and it's a long way.
DC is weird, man. I don't understand DC's
because it's gonna take another like probably two or 3 years for all this shit to fizzle out and fail, basically, and then it's gonna take another probably like I would give it 5 years of development of some type of content. And it's like I'm fine with it.
I would like to renew the option on my theory of Disney buying DC Comics,
dude.
Yeah. I know it was more than 5 years ago that I said it, but Warner Brothers is in trouble.
As bad as Disney is, Warner Brothers worse. No, they've had.
But the thing is Disney is financially sound.
Right.
Warner Brothers is not.
Yeah. They just got bought. What was that, last year when they got bought by Discovery? They're not even Warner Brothers anymore. They're Warner Brothers Discovery. It's like, come on. And oh brother, they not that they haven't done anything good recently. The Batman I think was really good. People like Joker. Joker 2 is coming out. Yeah. So I feel like more of that. There you go.
But like they've lost a lot of people with Joker 2 because it's going to be a musical.
I know, man. What is that gonna? I guess whenever we get a trailer, we'll get a sense of what that's actually.
Wait, what did you say about Joker? The Joker 2? What now?
Joker 2 is a musical starring Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn.
It's gonna be a musical.
Yes.
Oh man.
Oh,
why?
brother.
Why would you do that? What the fuck? Just take something great and fuck it up. That's great. Jesus fucking Christ.
Sam wasn't a fan either, though, because a lot of people. Maya said this too on the fucking show when we were doing the show when Joker came out. That she liked it better the first time she saw it when it was called Cuckoo's Nest.
But I don't have enough good things to say about that movie. Yeah. I just don't want Joker to be a sympathetic character.
Right, and I agree.
And that's it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that movie, and I don't want to see Joker made out to be a fucking idiot who sings and dances. Get the fuck out of here, man. That's silly, dude. Come on.
Oh, what a beautiful boy.
Oh my God! That's all we need to start swinging an umbrella. But that motherfucker, that's the Penguin. You got the wrong goddamn character. Jesus Christ!
Oh man, but
retarded. Now, what about comic books? Now, how do you think they've been?
There you go, Russ, with the segue. Nice.
Are they?
I am so out of the loop, man. The last time I read a comic book was from 2016. You know,
I've been reading old comics, so I've been reading 90s comics. That's what I've been doing. So I'm rereading them. All right.
Sam, you and I are both big Jonathan Hickman fans.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Let's tackle X-Men for the comics, and then we'll tackle Avengers. Sound cool?
Well, that might have been the last. More recent one was House of Powers of X was the last part of it.
Okay. Here's the problem. Jonathan Hickman is extremely high concept. I like where Jonathan Hickman's mind goes because to me, it's different, and he has different ideas. But the process and execution is very much like Morrison to me.
You think it takes too long to get to any type of payoff? Or
I think that what happened, we know what happened with X-Men. Jonathan Hickman was basically shown the door to the X offices. Right, because he wanted to. This Krakoa thing was supposed to go on for like a decade. It was supposed to be like the new status quo for the X-Men, and like people like these young kids in the office were just like that. He was supposed to be grooming to take over the franchise. We're just like, oh my God, we can't do this. It's too much. It's too like it was the only way I can describe it from what I read was that it was basically like these kids were ADD max and couldn't like get his plots.
No, dude, I think I might know what it is. So can I expound on this for a second? So I'm reading this book right now by this guy called, and I think this might all be political. So I'm reading this. Just hear me out. I'm reading this book right now by this guy called Arnold Kling. It's about I think he calls it the three languages of politics. And it basically has to do with the dynamics with which like conservatives, progressives, and then libertarians view like the world. Okay, so libertarians view everything of a binary of kind of like it's either like state coercion versus like individual liberties. Right. And then he says like conservatives kind of view everything through the lens of like it's either a choice between like order and barbarism, right?
Right.
And then like progressives view everything through the lens of you're either the oppressed or you're the oppressor, in which case whoever is oppressed is good, whoever the oppressor is bad. And I think John Hickman made the X-Men the oppressor in that case.
Yeah.
Because they had the power. And I think that, and I don't want to get too into this, but I think that speaks so much to what's going on in the world right now. And I think that's like one of those things where once you get there, you don't know what to do with it. And that's like why I loved that story so much was because they made it there. And it's like, if you like even though they came from a place of like under the boot, they made it like of their own accords, of their own
under their own power,
and created that place for themselves, man.
Yeah, like the thing about this was also like I really like that point you made. To me, it's exactly that. Like they couldn't empathize with the X-Men, these young kids,
exactly, yeah.
Because the X-Men were in charge. And like for us older fans, like this is the first time in a long time I remember seeing the X-Men like
not as victims.
Right. Like
in control of their own destiny, man. With agency. And that to me is something that everybody should aspire to. Of like when you are in control of your own destiny.
And now with this storyline, they have made the X-Men victims again. Extremely bad. And it's just like if they had just shown patience. Hickman, I think fucking from Fantastic Four through Avengers, that had to have been a decade, all the way up to the end of Secret War.
Well, I mean, he was doing Ultimate Avengers probably back in like 2006, 7.
Yeah.
And that stuff was all really, or the Ultimates, I think. And that stuff was all really good.
Sorry about that, guys.
He's been all good, man. He's been at it for a while. But I think like with that arc of put him in power, again, give him that agency, that like presents its own problems, right?
Yes.
Which I think makes for really interesting storytelling. And it's like the fact that like people saw that and just like cowered away from it, man. Like, come on.
Right.
Like put yourself in a different position, like where you wouldn't expect yourself to be, or maybe where you can't see that point of view.
Hickman did the greatest thing ever when he fucking started this whole House and Powers thing. You know who he had them interact with? He had them interact with Doom. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Doom was at the first Hellfire Gala.
Yeah.
And he was talking to fucking Emma Frost. And he was like, look, hey, my power came from me earning it. I wasn't born some accident with power. And he said, I'm not going to cower beneath you no matter how you've conquered every other nation on Earth. And Emma's like, we didn't conquer anybody. Blah, 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 blah. And then they have the Shi'ar fucking ambassador to Earth come up. And he's like, we would like to go ahead and congratulate the mutants on the conquering of their home planet.
It's so good, man.
And Doom just walks away laughing.
That's fucking funny.
But
though.
again, it's like that power comes with its own burdens, man. Because then you are, again, it's like through that binary which I described. It's like now you're the oppressor, and to certain people now you're just bad by definition. You know, and everything you do is whatever. Even if you're just trying
because
to
you have power, you're bad.
Yeah, and it's like now you're just even if you're just trying to defend your own people, or like which is like the bare minimum. Like if you're like a nation state, that's the bare minimum of your charter of like you need to protect your citizenry from violent offense. Yeah. You know, and it's such an interesting story, and it's
and they bailed.
And they bailed, yeah.
That's the entire thing. And now they're having to pivot again.
Yeah.
So this whole Krakoa thing is ending. And they're basically doing Decimation 2.0. So it's going to be the X-Men, like this whole thing that happened at this last Hellfire Gala, the X-Men are completely ripped apart. Like, they don't know where half the mutants are. Like, there's a war on Mars because, like, Storm is the fucking head of the mutants on Mars. Magneto's dead again. They brought in fucking Uranus from the Eternals. It's just, like, it's all this stuff that, like, you can tell was on Hickman's board of what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And it's just like bang, 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 bang. Yeah, here it all is, and there's no build up, and there's no, and like these things that you know should be these giant payoffs make no sense, and you have no attachment to.
Mm-hmm.
Right. What a fucking waste, man.
Yeah. And oh man, I like Mark Miller. Mark Miller was the writer for the Ultimates.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, what else did he do? He did
Wanted,
Nemesis, Kick-Ass, right?
Kick-Ass.
Dude, Nemesis is so good.
It is, and it's. I can't wait for that movie.
He did fucking Civil War.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Like in the midst of everything, Bendis. Mark Miller's good.
Yeah.
Both Jupiter's Ascending.
No matter how no matter how he feels about him now, he's studying under that Morrison tree, baby.
Yeah.
Because that's where he started with Morrison on Flash.
Yeah.
And that was so good. That was the last time I enjoyed Flash. But he was talking in like people are just basically saying the comic industry is going to die, and it's not going to, because it's a lost leader for these businesses, and it's also an idea incubator.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So, right. They get a tax write-off, and then they get content also that they can mine for all their other platforms.
Right.
So DC Comics isn't going away, and Marvel Comics is never going away. They may stop printing paper comics within the next few years and go completely digital.
I can see that. Yeah, I can see that happening.
And the only thing that you're going to have physical for comics will be trade paperbacks and hardcovers and softcovers.
I wonder how that would work with Lucy's, just because, like, I wonder how much, like, my local comic book shop, I mean, they got the whole fucking wall, 30-foot wall.
Yeah.
Of new comics every week. I wonder how much of those they sell versus I don't know what they would do with them.
Yeah. And the back issue market would just plummet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. You would.
Yeah. But so what Mark Miller was saying was basically that the way he gets his talent, and he does work with some of the best talent in comics on his Miller World stuff, which is him independently publishing.
That Nemesis, I think that was Steve McKibben.
Yep.
Which he also worked with on Civil
War. Yeah.
He was really good.
Oh, man. He had JR on Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
Yep.
which is like the John Romita Jr. Just a quick like side thing is like he is the best version of like what Frank Miller could always have been. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, like he's like a better Frank Miller.
I hate his Spider-Man, but love his Daredevil.
Yeah,
It's weird, but so he said he pays better page rates than Marvel or DC.
mm-hmm.
He said the page rates that and royalties that Marvel and DC give out are paltry compared to what independents like him, Image, and Dark Horse can do.
Yeah,
and what they have to do to compete because
like,
the business that they're going to give them
Yeah.
isn't as constant or as varied as what Marvel and DC can.
and also
Right.
like is free of what do you want to do? So like there's always a thing of like, you know, you get the point in comic books where like you do follow authors. I think it's more so than artists, and you know if you're like I just like John Hickman,
dude, these kids are all artists, man.
Yeah.
It's been the cult of the artist since Image.
Yeah. But it's like if you're following an author, then it's really easy to do for one, and then it's like you quickly recognize that you get their best work from whatever the independent title is, where they have just fucking free reign. You know, Rick Remender, as good as Uncanny X-Force was, Black Science is better.
Yeah.
And it's who's the artist on that? Matteo Scalera.
Scalera.
Just brilliant stuff. But you know, you find that's and then it's like then you're like, well, man, I don't, you know, I'm less inclined to because it's ultimately like I think it's like people's money's limited.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so for me, I'd rather buy what I think the better story is. You know, because I can
right.
go back and figure out what's going on in Marvel right now. You know, through like whatever Wikipedia page I choose to go through. But as far as like what I would rather experience issue to issue, you know, it's probably going to be the independent title where they have more freedom to do whatever they want to do with an artist who probably is lesser known, but who's up and coming and really doing some interesting things. So
the other part of what Miller was saying is that if you're Marvel and DC, you need to start putting superstar teams on these books again.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah,
DC is getting a lot of notice right now because they're going to have Jason Aaron on Batman.
Right.
Like that to me is
and
really
Superman.
Interesting just to see how he is. So has he done anything for them yet, for DC yet?
I don't know.
I don't think he has. But like that is wild to be like
Jason Aaron was scalped, right?
Yeah.
So that was Vertigo back in the day.
Mm.
So I don't know, like if he did anything for straight DC or not.
Yeah, he did. Well, I know he was. I'm trying to think everything he did for Marvel. He Wolverine for years and years.
Yeah, Punisher,
Thor,
Max, Thor.
I mean, like
Avengers. Hey, bird.
They said hello. Hello. I mean, like the best of any Thor thing that I've ever read was Jason Aaron's Thor. He did the God Butcher stuff.
Yeah.
So
I'm still a Simon.
But then it's like, and I'm saying this, I'm thinking of what he did for Image. He did something Bastards. Southern Bastards. It was like, but then like that too was so much better than any of the Thor stuff that I said was so good. You know what I mean? So it's like, gosh, whenever they're just like left to their own devices to do whatever the fuck they want to do, it's so much. So it's like, if you're anyone comes across this and you're like, I'm just into comic books, find an author that you like and follow them. Like fuck the characters, fuck it. Find an author you like.
Yeah.
If you like Jason Aaron, you're gonna like most of the things they put out. And whenever they put stuff out under indie titles, it's generally better, and not because it's they're putting less into it or anything like that. They just have less constraints.
Yeah.
To tell a story like Southern Bastards, which is just so good.
Look at Scott Snyder. Yeah. Everything he does is just amazing. And like all that independent stuff is just shit that's just leaking out of his brain, and he just fucking makes it great.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine just having that many good ideas, and then also being able to like see them through to where like they're good by the time they come out on like the printed page? Like, oh my god! Dude.
But like that's the thing, like. DC has this opportunity more than Marvel does right now because a lot of Marvel exclusive contracts just went. Like Donny Cates.
Yeah.
I'd love to see a Donny Cates Justice League book or a Donny Cates Green Lantern.
Well, I mean, he's just really good. He's just another one who's just really good. So it's like, take your favorite character.
Yeah, and then they were talking about like James Tynion. No longer DC, fucking
man, and like he was a really, for me, like an under the radar, good Batman author.
That Talon miniseries,
yeah, because he was doing Detective Comics, right?
Yeah,
and telling some really good stories, like along with Scott Snyder.
Yep. And his solo Batman run was not bad at all.
No, not bad at all.
I loved it. I actually really liked it. But like, Scott Snyder, another one. Could you imagine him on some Marvel titles?
Mm-hmm. He's definitely because he's one who just has that vision from kind of beginning to end, where it's almost like by the end of every page. Is payoff in a way.
Yeah. And then like we're talking about like how he was booted out of the X office, but Hickman is like still a Graham Hoff at Marvel because he's got this God stuff coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been really interesting. Like how they're tying that into like a hidden history of the Marvel universe with like, and they're tying it into he's tying it into the Black Swans and shit from Infinity.
Yeah. And that's something that's like not out of his ass, that's something that exists. And with the incursions and everything.
And he's going to be allowed to let this shit grow.
Yeah. And it's funny because like he was doing that stuff. Almost 10 years ago with Marvel Now with the new Avengers, which is what would have been the name of that title, which was basically the Illuminati. So that's cool because it's like I imagine that's just been cooking in his head for a really long time, and it's well thought out and well reasoned and everything.
Jonathan Hickman takes care of these characters.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And I think he's one of many, and I think Jason Aaron does too.
Yeah.
Which like why like these comic book
Scott Snyder took care of Batman.
And then like dude gave me, and it's funny
because fucking Tom King comes along afterwards with that bullshit.
Yeah, but it's a thing where Scott Snyder and I'm always thinking about this because of that. Like you guys got me this book for my birthday of that. I always go back and reread the the Court of Owls like every couple months because it's so good. But like that's like one of my favorite
I'm all right.
Batman stories ever of all time. And it's not like one of my recent ones from recent comics. Like no, that's just it. And for him to add that so late in the lore,
Sorry, I was on my comic book writers. I get bored. I'm sorry.
Going forward, if you just like we're at almost right at 2 hours, so we'll go ahead and end on this. But like, no, it's cool, man, because like 2 hours is a good show. But like we talk about how good of a job Snyder did. Then you go into Tom King. Okay, he comes up with the idea that Batman's suicidal, and that's his mission, is that he's trying to go out there and kill himself.
No. And it's like it's antithetical to the character.
Yeah, and that's not taking care of the character. Then then James Tynion comes along, and he tries to get the train back on the on the tracks.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like his run was truncated. It seemed like it was shorter than it was supposed to be. Because there were some fill-ins and some other stuff going on, and he left DC not much long afterwards. And now we get to this new arc in Batman. They fucking Luke Skywalkered Batman, bro.
God.
Fucking Batman's got a cyborg fucking hand now.
See, that's what I mean. But I mean,
and,
this will be cool. Let's give Batman a robot hand. All right.
Yeah.
Come on,
and
man.
Like they're doing shit with Zur-En-Arrh. Okay.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: they have this idea that DC needs a new trinity of evil. Okay. So what they're doing, and they've released it. They've released the press shit and everything. It's all over Bleeding Cool. What's going to happen is this Beast World shit that's going on in Titans. This is all tied into the Lazarus Pit stuff that's been going on, where there was a meteor that basically, was the same shit that was from Lazarus Pits and started powering people differently and all this other shit.
Right.
So it's all a continuation of the same story, basically. Well, they decided DC needs a trinity of evil, and it's going to be Amanda Waller, Zur-En-Arrh. Okay, what they're going to do, what they're saying is Zur-En-Arrh is actually an alien infection in Batman.
Oh, God.
Oh, Jesus.
That's where they're taking Morrison's shit on Batman with that. And then the third one is some kind of lady Brainiac that they're going to be introducing in Superman soon, because he's going to be fighting Brainiac.
Who's that? It's Ms. Brainiac. Anyway.
Yeah. It's Captain Brainiac.
We just can't wait to call you sexist.
Yeah.
Oh, you know it, man. You know it. You sexist pig.
And so, like, that's just showing, like, with one title, going through the past two artists and writers, like, showing that, like, you can have someone take care of a franchise and then, like, right afterwards, just fucking shit all over it.
Right. Doing a good job, and then all of a sudden, fuck it. I don't know,
now,
man.
Tom King has also written some of my favorite shit for DC, including that Miracle Man fucking mini. So, like, I do like some of his work, but I feel what he did to Batman damaged the character permanently, and also wasn't a good story. But,
I just don't get how a writer can decide to be doing such a good job and all of a sudden just fucking goes crazy at the end. Doesn't make any sense.
I feel like there's just a lot that goes into it where it's like maybe like you do good enough for a long enough time, and then they like lift some of those constraints, and then it's like turns out your ideas were just really bad.
yeah, right. Whoop, that was a fuck up.
But then, like,
that way.
With comic books, it's like the character's a little bit more bulletproof.
Yeah.
Just because, I mean, if you have a bad Batman run under Tom King, how many people actually know that exists?
Yeah.
Which sucks when it's such a beloved character and everything, but maybe it's also a blessing because...
Man.
Jesus.
Well, that's the thing. If the character has so many iterations, that means they're durable, so they can get through what some of these people do to them.
Well, yeah,
but
that's true.
At the same time, it shouldn't be done in the first place. And if you have an idea for a story like that, maybe you should fucking think twice about doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
agreed.
Something that gets in the way of the execution.
Word.
Editors or
All right, man. We're right up on 2 hours, so I'm gonna go ahead and bring us out. Thank you, everybody, for watching tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good show.
We appreciate it, and we'll be back next week. As I say every week, thank y'all. Love you. Peace, love, and hair grease. We're out.
Adios.